Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Wanapatiha binti Waisov and my mentor number is 204163. So today I'm going to present about motivation in teaching and learning for FCE3200 Educational Psychology. So my presentation today is divided into three sections, which is the first one in what is motivation, the second one is the theories of motivation, and the last one is issue in schools or classroom that relevant to their motivation. So the first one, let's see what is motivation actually. Motivation can be thought as a reason that causes someone to act in some particular way and at the same time they have a desire to achieve their goals or something that they want. And this motivation is related to four main key concepts that been provided by the researchers. So let's see the first one. Traits and state. Traits is a solid and enduring characteristic that motivate us to behave in certain way. And this trait can be seen in two types, which is the human behaviors and the learnable traits. Human behavior is such as the sexual instinct and urge to explore something, while the learnable traits like a determination to achieve something that we want. State is a temporary condition or feeling that becomes one of the motivations, such as thirsty and hungry. So when we feel thirsty or hungry, we'll force ourselves to find food to settle this problem. The next one is the arousals and anxiety. Arousal in the psychological and physiological is a state of being awoken or a sense of organ that being stimulated to a point of perception. In a simple ways is the alertness and the attentiveness, while the anxiety is a feeling of tensions or uneasiness which are related to the arousal. The one is the intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is derived from the internal variables such as individual feelings of curiosity, excitement, and also satisfaction, while the extrinsic motivation is derived from the external rewards such as foods or praises that will influence someone to complete their task. And for the last one is the effects and the interests. Affect is a term that being used in psychology to describe the emotional state such as the feeling and also the moods, while the interest is the cognitive state that will associate with the arousal that will lead to the increase of attention, concentration, and also the persistence. The second section of the presentation is about the theories of motivation. So this theory of motivation is divided into three parts, which is the behavioral, humanistic, and also the cognitive theory. So let's say the behavioral theory first. Behavioral theory is depend on the stimulus and the rewards that are around. For example, from this picture is a dog being salivate when they've been given with a food, but they not have a salivation when they hear the bell. But after we provide the food and ring the bell together, the dog start to have salivation. And after a particular time, when we ring the bell, only the bell, and there's no food, the dog start to salivate. And this shows that the behavioral story is shown that motivations to eat food from this dog can be turned away from the food by just hearing the bell because it know that when the bell is ringing, there is the food. So the next one is the humanistic theory. Humanistic theory is focusing on the individual capacity such as the personal growth, freedom to choose their own destination, and also the good attributes. And from this picture, you can see that everyone have their own goals in their love, career, healthy or wealth, or in their family, or maybe a degree like me want to focusing on my graduation day, and also one focusing to my future planning and my occupation, whether I be a teacher or a businesswoman. Last one is the cognitive theory. Cognitive theory is deal with the thoughts and the interests of the individual. So it means that individual like us have their own targets and their goal in their life, and they also have their own prediction for their own future. So this related to our mind that we will manipulate our mind that say that we can do this, and we're focusing on what achievement that we want and try to find a way to achieve it. Talking about this theory, they have their own strength and limitations. For their strength, we can see that this theory will help to improve student achievement, self-confidence, and their self-independence as a learner. And at the same time, as an educator, we can recognize our student capability and their behavior at school. But for the limitation, there are several limitations that we can see in some theories. The first one is the focusing only toward goal setting, which means when a student's only focusing about the reward for their everything they do, they will not focusing. They will not concentrate on their technique to achieve their goals or their motivation to learn something new, and this will affect their interest of their motivation, which means that they will not excited to learn something new about their knowledge.
So the last one is the issue in school or classroom that relevant to their motivation.
Some teachers classify the student according to their grade and give a different treatment to their student. They like to give more attention to the student with a good grade and less attention to the student with a lower grade. And some teachers also do not use a humanistic approach in their teaching style, such as asking the student whether they understand or not, or have a one-to-one session with them to know them better about their behavior, and this indirectly will decrease the students' motivation to go to school and learn about a new thing. The last one is the peer relationship. Peers or friends we know that is the closest people to the student that have spent more time together, and they will always doing activities whether in school or outside school. So if students or anybody's have a good friend, they tend to do a good things such as study together or discussing about subject they want, and they will motivate themselves to go to schools to study and spend more time together with their friends because they know being a friend with a good friend can help them to increase their motivation to go to school and at the same time increase their achievement and performance in studying. I think that's all from me for my presentation, and I hope for the educators out there or any persons that doing a research in motivation in teaching and learning, I hope you can get a new information from my presentations and sharing. That's all from me. Thank you.